Bones.
We are live.
Are we on?
Yes.
Oh, my ears aren't on. I haven't heard anything.
Didn't realize
Were
that.
you guys just sitting there? I was like, why are we
Yeah.
not going?
Yeah, and then Ray goes, Bones.
My ears weren't on. Dang. That's on me. God, I was confused. I was like, what's broken? Did the thing go? "Brr"?
Yeah, we hit
All right.
it.
How long was it quiet?
Not very long,
Oh.
but long enough to be like, what's going on?
Sorry. I was watching this video. Like, I don't
Of what?
Joe Biden seems 200 years old. Did
Mm-hmm.
you see the video where he brought the guy on stage and he's like, you look like Obama?
Oh my gosh, wait, what?
He said that?
Yeah, that's literally what I was watching.
Does he look like Obama at all? Or is he just
he's
a black
He's
man?
a thin black man.
Okay.
It's just, you just
Interesting.
don't do that.
Right.
And also, Joe Biden seems like he's 200 years old. Joe Biden brings man on stage at Syracuse University saying he reminds him of Barack Obama. Doesn't he look like Barack? He has to. It's
gosh.
just like, yeah. That's what I was doing. It was knuckles deep into going, man, that's risky. Yeah, it's tough. So that's it. All right, good. Glad everybody's here. Everybody feeling good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do one voicemail. Give me number 4, Ray.
Hey, you guys were talking about Amy's predictions with the Masters and Royal Mac, and you stated that she wasn't correct with her NCAA March Madness picks. But actually, I think you guys interpreted her incorrectly. She said a duck in a pond. At one point in time, Eddie said, could it be a lake? Is it Michigan? I think Amy was spot on.
I hear you. The Caitlin Clark in the crowd thing was in Iowa. However, I think Amy was very right about that because it was like, hey, who do you see? And she picked Iowa. They went way further than anyone expected them to. Regardless, she's kind of been nailing stuff. Whenever it was the Masters, like, pick a letter. She goes, I don't know, R. And immediately I went, okay, Rory, and I bet it. I wouldn't have bet it, and I won.
I mean, there were other R's though, so sort of like you were part of it. Like you picked Rory. I picked
did.
R.
I did. Yeah.
So I led you there.
So I appreciate the voicemail. I'm throwing off because I was wondering why we were so quiet for so long, but we're back. We're back. Do you guys want to hear what else I've been reading about?
Yes.
So you know all those scientists have been disappearing?
Yes.
There's another one.
Another one.
Intent.
And when?
So I went to 2 different AI sources to go, hey, here's the information. Fact check me, and I read them both. So I'm going to give you what it says here. Because I gave them the list of the new list of names. The list that you have, the list in the images appears to be a compilation of real individuals who have either died or gone missing, or in one case involved in a murder-suicide between 2023 and 2026. They have documented connections to U.S. aerospace, nuclear research, national laboratories, or other sensitive programs in that same realm. And so here's a verification of each entry based on public news reports as of April 2026. And some of these we've read, but all of them have a connection to aerospace, nuclear, alien type situations. And they're either gone or dead or something fishy's happened with them. Monica Jacinto Reza, June 22nd, 2025. True, aerospace materials engineer at Aerojet Rocketdyne. Worked on advanced rocket alloys with ties to NASA. Melissa Cassius, June 26, 2025. Administrative assistant at LANL with access to sensitive meetings, radioactive cleanup, etc. She disappeared from the Ranchos de Teos, New Mexico area. Her phones were wiped, and she was last seen walking without her belongings. Remains missing. Jacob Pritchard, civilian employee at AFRL, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base with TS-SCI clearance. He was the perpetrator in a murder-suicide. Killed a colleague and his wife, then died by suicide. Carl Grillmeyer, astrophysicist at Caltech, involved in asteroid comet detection and exoplanet research. William Neil McCaslin, the disappearance reported around the same time frame, February 2026, retired Air Force Major General and former AFRL director. He oversaw projects including advanced alloys, vanished from his Albuquerque, New Mexico home without phone, wallet. Search is ongoing. Michael David Hicks, longtime NASA JPL researcher who worked on asteroid deflection, which is DART, near-Earth asteroid tracking, Deep Space One related tech. Frank Maywald, JPL principal researcher, instrument development leader with 25 years at NASA. Died at 61 in Los Angeles. Cause not publicly released. No autopsy performed. Stephen Garcia, we only have a few left. property custodian contractor at Kansas City National Security Campus. Handles non-nuclear weapons components with high-level clearance. Vanished from Albuquerque, New Mexico area while walking. Anthony Chavez, May 4th, 2025. He's retired, LANL employee, vanished from his Los Alamos, New Mexico home on foot. Wallet and other items left behind. Extensive searches yielded nothing. Still missing. And the 10th, Nuno Lareiro. And one of these may be the 10th one because I just typed them all in. The order could be wrong. Director of MIT Plasma Science and Fusion Center. Fatally shot at his residence. Died the next day. Homicide investigation. That's 10 now.
So the new one happened recently?
Yeah, if I look back at the dates.
Steven Garcia is the one.
It is?
Yeah.
It's the latest one?
The latest reported.
So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I read? Oh, yeah, August. Yeah, property, the custodian who had clearance, handled non-nuclear weapons custodian. Yeah, that's because.
It's definitely smoke.
No, that's billowing the top of flames.
Yeah, but like if they know that people are already talking about it, like it's already a thing now that we're on to you. Like now we see 9 people missing.
It's been a thing after 3. They don't care. It doesn't matter.
They just keep doing it.
If it's something that they have to protect so much, they don't care. Some idiots on a podcast are going, can you believe all these people are dying?
Well, I saw a news story, like a real news story, not just podcasts.
I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
When I say idiots on a podcast.
Oh, that's us. Got it.
Yeah, but that's wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it pops up in my feed when anything new happens because obviously I'm attracted to these type of stories, so my algorithm feeds it to me. But I was reading that. So I was watching Joe Biden go, hey, don't you look like Obama? And then reading this story before he came on. Yeah, so that'll be mine. What do you have over there?
So yesterday I watched some of the press conference that was held in Beverly Hills of one of the alleged Swalwell victims or survivors. I never know which is the best way to sit.
You know, I think if you'd have said either one, I would have understood.
I think
You're
survivors
right.
is more of the...
I don't know the sensitive way to say it, but we understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so she gave details as to what happened to her and why she never reported it to authorities, but she did tell friends. She documented it in her journals or calendars, like dates of what happened, and spoke with it to her therapist. And now she plans on bringing it to authorities because it happened back in 2018, but because of fear, not doubt, she knew what happened, but because she was so scared of his political power and his background as an attorney and his family's ties with law enforcement, that if she came forward and said something, it could put her in danger. And to see her bravely stand up there, and you could tell she was so nervous to say everything she was about to share. And she's the 5th one, I think, to come forward now. But she's the latest. So who knows if there will be more. And we talked about how he pulled his run for governor, but now he has stepped down and no longer in Congress. So if you're not familiar, he's a Democrat from California. And then, like on Monday from the House, a Republican from Texas stepped down, Gonzalez, for having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer who ended up committing suicide.
Like set herself on fire, right?
Or death by suicide. What? Set herself on fire?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know how. How?
Wait, when you say death by suicide, is that a different sensitive way?
It is. And I learned that from Kat, my co-host on my podcast, Feeling Things. She's a therapist. And
so you're not supposed to say committed suicide?
Yeah, she said I guess one time I said it and then she was like, death by suicide. I mean, she said it in a loving way, but she's like, in the mental health minded community, that's how we refer to it.
I don't hate it. It's foreign when you say that I think, oh.
Because we're so used to saying committed suicide that.
I wonder what is not, since I'm not saying that, I'm not fighting for committed suicide in any way, but
Right.
I wonder what is insensitive about committing.
You're right. I don't know the exact, but I feel death by suicide gives more of an underlying tone of a mental health thing or something happened. It's not like
I'm sure
committed is
you're
a little
right.
more aggressive and like, oh, they committed suicide. It's more like, oh, death by suicide insinuates, wow, something was really going on there. It's a more sensitive way. I don't know.
I'm happy to say whatever is more sensitive toward people regardless. Like, it doesn't hurt me to.
That's why I wanted to say victim versus survivor, because I hear both all the time, even in reports where you would think people would be saying
You can be a victim and not survive, maybe.
True.
I'm just spitballing here, but you can be a victim and not survive.
Right. That maybe that's why I see both.
Mike, can you tell me what happened with her? Because she died.
Gonzalez's person?
And I knew that she lit herself on fire. That's what the headline said.
I was looking up something different, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I was looking up committed versus...
Oh, yeah, what do you see?
Well, committed says it implies a crime or a sin, while died by makes it seem like a health-related death.
Okay.
I'm totally down. It's probably going to be hard for me to change.
Got it.
Because I'm in the pattern, but I'm happy to be more sensitive with my language. Doesn't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't hurt me to be more sensitive to my language.
I can get down with death by suicide.
Yeah. It just takes, saying it a couple of times, and then you get there. What's interesting with Swalwell is he still maintains his innocence, of course. But when she was going into the detail of how he did it, it's like thinking of how sneaky they are with it. She was a model. She also had a software company that she was forming that was a fashion-related software company that she was in California trying to build, and he has connections. So he was telling her, I can introduce you to these people. She thought they were friends. She knew he was married, obviously. Nothing inappropriate had happened between them. Then she has one glass of wine, and they're going to a meeting where she's supposed to meet people with him. And he's like, oh, I forgot some paperwork back in my hotel room. And she said by the time they got to the hotel room to get the paperwork, she couldn't feel her arms. And then the next thing she knew, this was happening. And at one point, she lost consciousness because he allegedly choked her. And then, but she remembers everything she shared. She remembers, and that's interesting about the drugging part is like how helpless to feel like you're there and you're in a hotel room and you're like, wait, but I can't move. But she probably would have stayed aware with everything that happened had he not allegedly choked her and she lost consciousness. But even when you came to, like, what kind of a guy thinks he's so untouchable that can happen and he's just gonna...
The same guy that does that, meaning it takes that type of mindset to be able to do that to begin with, to have that when it's over.
Yeah, to think, this never happened and you're a liar.
And I have power and yeah.
Yeah, so that was her news conference yesterday, and now she's going to tell every detail to the authorities. And then I think in the state of California, they lengthened their statute of limitations for victims to file civil sexual abuse claims, because typically it was at a year, and I think they're expanding that. So
that's good. It needs to be longer than a year.
Yes, because even psychologically, just to work through. I mean, some people act like it's so easy to like go, not easy, but they're like trying to think rationally for someone else who's gone through something so traumatic. Like, well, why wouldn't you go get a rape kit right away? Why wouldn't you? I mean, some people have the capacity to do that, but depending on somebody else's past, they may not have that capacity, and they're sitting with it and they're in shock and they're like, what happened? And
many psychological factors involved here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the latest. That's
my
latest.
Bro, if you did it, look, everything's alleged, but when there starts to be 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah, but like we were talking about, I think it was yesterday with him, how many people were like, oh, yeah, we know. Yeah. It blows my mind that okay, fine. Now you're all admitting that you knew.
I hear you, and I agree with you in principle. But imagine it's not you that happened to, and you're going to go out to the press and say, this guy, I've heard he did this.
Yeah, like there's all these rumors.
Yeah, you don't. You can't do that. And you're in shock probably that it's not being discovered, but you don't. Like, if we know stuff about, not like that, but we know stuff about people and it's not our story and we're not sure, we can't prove it, so why would we say it?
Okay, that's true.
So I'm not defending anybody. I'm just going, I can see why nobody, if there's no evidence and you do that, you're just going to get, even if you're right, but you can't prove it, you're going to get your brain sued out. And obviously he has power.
And he's an attorney.
He's an attorney. All this is alleged. Everything's alleged. Everything that I say in history.
Yeah.
Can I just cover myself for my whole life? Everything that will come out of my mouth for the history of time is alleged. Mike, what do you see about her? The other woman that lit herself on fire. Did you find that?
I didn't find that.
Okay.
Do you know Lunchbox?
Yeah, she killed herself by lighting herself on fire.
Yeah, I just wonder what, like.
But like, what a terrible way. To me, that's wait, did someone else light her on fire?
No, she did it.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
Well, that's what I read too. The same thing that he read. I just wanted more definite information.
Well, I know we're talking about scientists mysteriously dying.
Mm-hmm. When I think of people lighting themselves on fire, I think of like famous monks that have done it for a cause.
Yes.
They pour gas on themselves
Yes.
and
That picture, that famous picture.
yeah.
So I guess I just was making sure. Yeah, we know for sure she did that.
She did. In Uvalde, Texas, she set herself in her backyard.
Oh,
Dang.
terrible.
Uvalde's where that shooting was too, huh? That's why.
Yes.
That's why I know where that place.
Yep. That's shooting where the security guard was on trial, right?
Yeah, the cops.
Where the cops like didn't. Yeah. All right. Hey, that's whoa.
Womp womp.
It's heavy.
Better than we learned something.
Mm-hmm.
Better than
Bird
yesterday.
birthdays.
I will never, ever, ever do that again.
All right. Mostly that's because I think all that stuff's annoying too, like horoscopes. And
I know,
it can
but also
all be,
I thought about it multiple times yesterday.
you shouldn't have.
While at home.
After the fact.
Why not? It's like game tape.
Nah, not really.
No,
I was probably
for-
a little tired and a little hungry, and just generally, I'm probably a little more annoyed at stuff like that than the average person, especially with astrology. And I'm like, there's no way you think that this 1 month is good for all these people born
Right.
in this time. It's that.
It did nothing for even our listener. I thought yesterday there's probably not one person that was like, oh, I wonder what bird I am, and went and looked it up.
There might be one person.
I don't know. I don't think so. So it's fine.
Eddie and Amy brought this up, but Eddie's wearing a hat that says Amen Corner,
Yeah.
and Amy complimented your hat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not the first time. Like I got it a couple days ago,
Because it's from the Masters.
and this has been happening to me. I went to my son's baseball game. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, did you go to the Masters?" And I feel like a fraud because I didn't go to the Masters. It's awesome that our friend brought us some stuff and
Wait,
like
he works with us. He works
Yeah.
with me. Yeah.
But he like
Dylan. You met Dylan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dylan went to the Masters and he brought us some stuff. He brought me a hat. I'm like, that's awesome. And I wore it. But now everyone's like, did you go to the Masters? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. And I feel like a fraud because like usually people that come back with a shirt and the hat, like they went.
yeah,
So
but
I
so
even-
many people that are there are buying gifts for their friends and family.
I
so
know.
it
But at
makes
one
sense.
point I even started lying to people. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome, man. Rory.
You start taking my stories and things from TV.
It's awesome.
I think if you were to wear it in 3 weeks, people wouldn't. I think it's because you wore it right after the Masters.
Uh-huh.
And it's fresh. It's fresh green and white. It's a very clean hat.
Very clean.
You're like, oh, did you go to the Masters? It's so new. You must have been there. I think if you wear it in a month, nobody's going to ask you a thing about it.
Okay.
But I mean, is it posery? Who cares? Yes. The answer is
is
yes.
it posery?
Yes, but who cares?
It's just like
It's a
not-
nice gift.
It was a wonderful gift, and I loved it. And I was so happy to wear it. And then after like the 5th question, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't wear this.
No, wear it. Wear whatever you want to wear. Who gives a crap? It looks good, but
Thank you.
yes, it's a bit posery, but who cares? Pose away, buddy.
I love it.
Pose away. Lunchbox, give me your story.
Yeah, there's a biotech firm in Georgia. They deal with adhesives, and back in 2015, they hired a Stanford professor to help them, and they got into a big tiff about, compensation, and he started suing them. So this company came up with false evidence to have him arrested for breaching contract and confidential.
False.
Yes.
Evidence. Wow.
So he went for a interview at their building, and he was arrested and charged. And so he sued them again once the charges were dropped. And the judge awarded the professor $58 million.
Dang.
Saying they intentionally tried to harm and disgrace this professor, and they need to pay him $58 million.
That sucks. They were creating fake. That sucks. You know how often that's probably happened. Did you see that? Was it the Lena Dunham story? That was. Now maybe
about her cheating?
maybe that was a book. No, it's not Lena Dunham. So Lena Dunham has a book that just came out. And first of all, 2 stories. She used to date Jack Antonoff. I didn't
Yes.
know that. I know
Who is
Jack
Lena
Antonoff now.
Dunham?
From Girls.
She's an actress
On HBO.
HBO.
Look her up.
So
You'd recognize her.
she dated Jack Antonoff. Didn't know that. I know Jack Antonoff now. Big producer, Taylor Swift producer. Was in Fun, Bleachers, not the Bleachers, I guess. I know they dated, so I saw that story yesterday. And she was like, I cheated on him, but he was hanging out with some teen pop star. She has a book. Weird headline. Okay.
Well, she revealed it in the book about the affair.
Oh, you're looking at it now? Yeah.
Otherwise, it
It
hadn't
didn't say
been.
the teen pop star was, though.
No.
I think it's Lord.
Like he was producing her.
Yeah.
And,
But he was just hanging out with her?
The boy's producing her,
Well-
Yeah.
and her, when she was saying it to me, just from the headline, I didn't read her book. Maybe Morgan can lend to this. It felt like that was her excuse for cheating on him. Like she, in the story that I read, admitted to cheating on him. But part of the reasoning, it felt like he was hanging out with some teen pop person that he was possibly producing.
Yeah, I read that she walked in and the teen pop star was laying her head in his lap, and Jack Antonoff was like consoling her and saying like, your teens are for experimenting and stuff like that, and she like witnessed that and thought, oh well, he's never looked at me and talked to me that way, and so then she cheated on him by that. That was like her account.
Yeah, because it was a couple months after that, and then she went with like one of her friends.
Yeah.
It was like, we need to hook up.
Your teens are for experimenting?
Maybe was he talking about music though?
Experimenting
I don't
with
know. We
beats?
weren't there. We don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I read that yesterday. But the other story, because we talk about Lunchbox's story where they were creating this fake. That didn't happen. Like the story about the PR team. I got to find the celebrity. Who's the funny Australian celebrity? And the story came out. They were going to say that one of the producers was like being like sexually inappropriate. They were making up the story at TMZ.
Oh, from the singing movie,
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect.
Rebel?
Rebel Wilson. Did you guys ever see that? That's what Lunchbox's story reminds me of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like Rebel Wilson's PR team. We're going to create fake accusations.
Yeesh.
I'm going to just read you this so I don't get sued, but it's kind of the.
Well, everything's alleged anyway.
Yeah.
From the Hollywood Reporter, leaked audio reveals Rebel Wilson's PR team plotted to smear movie producer as sex trafficker.
Oh. That's
Wait, what?
And this is a month or so ago when this happened, but that's what you're making up stuff and you ruin somebody's life. Amid an escalating legal feud between Wilson and the film's producer, Amanda Ghost, more evidence of emerging PR firm The Agency Group's connection to anonymous attack websites. Behind closed doors, Rebel Wilson's crisis public relations team discussed plans to create anonymous websites that accuse the producer of The Deb of sex trafficking as part of an alleged smear campaign solicited by the actress.
gosh.
Again, this is from the Hollywood Reporter. In the recording obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, digital fixer Jed Wallace instructed top entertainment publicist Melissa Nathan to assert without evidence that the producer Amanda Ghost is a madam whose work involves procuring young women for wealthy and powerful men. Quote, we can't just do like, oh, she's a bee. It's like we got to be really, really heavy and connect to something heavy. At one point in the conversation, they reference the involvement and it goes on. But it's like you're creating fake stuff about people.
That's what makes us not believe other things
know.
too, and that's what makes me so mad about that.
I know. There you go. Well, good thing I wonder if he gets the money. Because you can win the money.
Oh, yeah, but it's not guaranteed you're going to get it.
For a couple of reasons. One, they could appeal, they could stretch it out, who
Yeah.
knows. And then two, if they don't have it, they go bankrupt. They don't pay
Yeah.
it. Like OJ's people didn't get, there's now, I think, starting to get some of it now.
Wow. From his estate
From
or
his
whatever?
assets, I think. But they didn't get it. Like, he lost civil trial. All right. That sucks. They should find out who the person was that started this fake against this professor.
It was 3 executives.
But, like, who was the one that, all three of them, go to jail. Not just money, go to jail.
Yeah, you need to set
You
a
almost
precedent
ruined
here.
someone's life.
Yeah.
You probably did ruin their life for a while. All right, Morgan, you're up.
Okay, Eddie, there's a video for this one, but so there's a principal, his name is Kirk Moore in Oklahoma, and there was a gunman that came inside his high school, tried to shoot at some students, but his gun misfired, and during that malfunction, the principal ran out and tackled the shooter. He got hit in the leg, but he's going to be okay. And like
He got shot?
Yeah, he got shot in the leg, but you can like see him come out and tackle
Can I
the
get on
shooter.
that screen? Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, man, he's wrapped him up.
And like holding the gun away, you see it kind of misfire too there.
So as he tackled him, the gun, like
At one point, yeah, he gets hit in the leg.
Like, so here comes the kid. He's in there, and he pulls out the gun right now, and he starts walking in.
principal's an older man too, huh? Is that him on the bottom? Like a picture of him?
No, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
at the bottom, that's
Yeah.
him.
And he comes running out of the office in the top right.
So a kid comes in.
And the kid's off screen. You won't see the kids. He kind of like
He's got the
aims
gun,
at him.
boom.
Oh, he's blurred. I see him.
And then he tells the kids to run, so he doesn't shoot the kids.
Boom.
Dang. It's a good tackle.
Dude, that was a
Wow.
firm tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that guy was there to do
Shoot the
something to the
principal?
staff or the
Yeah.
principal because the kid was sitting right there and he wasn't trying to shoot him.
And he told the kids to go.
Did it say anything about any sort of problem he had with the administration, the kid? Like what his motivation was?
It said he studied the Columbine high school shooting. So that's all they have as.
Yeah, I mean, they shot kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He came in with 2 guns too. So I mean, it's not like he was
I mean,
not planning for
that
it.
principal jacked him.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna be okay. He went to the hospital.
That's a hero for sure. Eddie,
Man, I watched like a 15-minute TikTok last night, and it was like body cam from these cops that pulled a lady over who was driving a U-Haul truck. She was driving from Tucson, and she said she was going to Harrisburg. And they pull her over. They start noticing her story's kind of weird. It smells a lot like fabric softener. So they're like, there's something in that truck. So they call the drug dogs over. Sure enough, there was like $1 million worth of cocaine in that truck. She was just the driver. She's like, I really don't know. She finally confessed. She's like, I don't know the people. I just got hired to drive the truck from Tucson to New York City. So this is crazy, though. The cops are like, all right, well, in the next 20 minutes, you're going to have to decide, do you want to go to jail, just straight to jail and serve your sentence? You're going to go to a judge and all that. Or do you want to keep delivering this truck to New York and have these DEA agents follow you so we can continue the operation to see where you're delivering this to? And then the video cuts off. So I don't know what she decided to do, but I want to ask you guys.
wait,
like,
that can't be the end of your version of the story here. You didn't go to part 2. You didn't think I'm going to talk about it on the show, so I need to see how this ends.
there was no part 2.
You could see her face.
Wait.
Yeah, you can see her face and
So
everything.
we don't know
Is
how
it
this
real?
ends?
No, so I was going to ask you, like, would you continue driving for maybe a lesser sentence?
Huh.
Or
Not
would
not
you-
because there's a video.
Amy, are you mad at the story he brought?
There's a video. I'm
What do-
not.
what do you
No,
mean?
I think
What do
it's
you
a good story. There's a video of her. Like I would have to be like, is this video going to be public? Because then they know.
Body cam?
Yeah, the body cam, like her saying.
I thought you
okay,
were mad at Eddie for not having an ending.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
no.
mad for not having an ending. Like there was no ending to the video.
I'm thinking about her. If you've got body cam footage that is public record, and they're asking you, do you want to continue your mission so we can? And you're going to need to be protected because
Yeah, they wouldn't release that though.
the-
They wouldn't release that with her face in it if it
They
could
hadn't completed it.
if it could hurt her.
Is her name? She was from Arizona, and it was back in 2024.
Okay.
Possibly.
She was sentenced to 33 to 41 months in prison.
For
The 50 kilos of cocaine.
So what did she do?
She must have chose the
Well, that's all.
prison.
She pled guilty to possessing with the intent to distribute.
there's the end of your video. One goog.
Yeah, but I still don't know if she continued the mission or delivered them and then.
She probably just went to jail.
Yeah, you
Because-
have to because they're going to retaliate.
Well, there was also too, like she said, her family had no idea that she was doing this. They thought that she was just, doing something else. So she told the cops, like, "Can I at least talk to my husband?" They're like, "You got to decide first."
You got a lifeline? Can I can I phone a friend to see what
Well,
I'm going to choose?
To let them know that she's been arrested and that,
Well,
like,
no, you get your call, but it's after you're arrested.
yes.
Here's what I think. When you were telling the story, there's no way that was a random pullover.
Oh, really?
No chance.
Because they said it cut to where it was just one cop that pulled him over, and then they called the drug dogs. So I mean, I think it was random.
So what is it like?
I would
the
bet you
tags
if
are
there's
bad?
$1 million in that car and they pull it over, there's an idea that something's in that car already. They're just looking for a reason.
Yeah, they did it because an unsafe lane change.
Yep.
That's what they said.
That's bullcrap.
That's what they said.
I'm telling you, I see unsafe lane changes every day about 100 times. Ain't nobody getting pulled over.
So were
Hold on,
there
hold on,
dryer
hold on.
sheets in there?
There's also, it was raining and she wasn't using her headlights. It's a law that you're supposed to have your headlights on.
Oh,
Oh, so
okay.
maybe
And she was
random.
following too close to a vehicle.
All this stuff is stuff they can make up as well.
Right.
Because if you're driving $1 million in drugs, you know what you're going to do when it's raining? Turn your headlights on. You're going to make every possible right decision for 2 reasons. 1, you don't want to go to jail. And 2, you got to make sure that $1 million in drugs gets there. You're going to die. They're going to kill you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, she said she didn't know what was in there.
She said
Amy.
she just drove the car. She's just driving the
Okay,
truck.
let's say you don't know what's in there. You still know something bad is in there, which is why you don't know what's in there. You don't just grab something and drive it across the country and not know without knowing that it's something you don't want to know what it is.
And these
Okay.
guys were so bad. It was just one couch in there and a bunch of drugs. Like,
Well, what smelled like dryer sheets?
Right.
everything. The whole truck
To-
smelled like dryer.
probably to cover up-
cover the drug smell.
Well, that's why I was wondering if there were dryer sheets in there, but you said it's just a
No.
couch.
No, just a couch and like a bunch of drugs. So I'm asking you though,
I'll go to jail.
Yeah, we go to jail
you
because
wouldn't keep delivering?
it's basically jail or death.
Or they kill my family.
Less
Right.
sentence.
Or they kill my family regardless.
Yeah.
Because whoever you deliver to is not all. Whoever they arrest is not all of them.
No, that's probably just
Yeah.
so
Also,
many
the-
layers down.
Yeah, they said that she was acting very nervous when they were talking to her. That made him call backup. So if you don't know what's in there, you don't act nervous because why would you be nervous?
Right.
You just be like,
Driving a truck, man.
And then she said like, yeah, I'm moving to Harrisburg, and then I'm gonna go back to Tucson and get more stuff, and then come back. They were just like, well,
Reminds me
this
of the
doesn't make
Idaho
sense.
murderers, kind of, when they pulled him over. And he like with his dad, right?
Mhm.
Wasn't
We
he-
just got Chinese food or
No, they go where they're in the middle of their haul,
Sushi.
like in the middle of the country, like far from where he's from. And he goes, "Where are y'all headed?" And the guy goes, "I get some Thai food." And the dad's like, "No, we're going to Pennsylvania."
He's like-
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Thai.
There's a story about that. The TikTok psychic is appealing the $10 million false claims verdict in Ohio, Idaho, those murders. So this judge, if you remember, ordered this TikTok person to pay $10 million in damages to a professor at University of Idaho that she falsely accused of orchestrating the murders of the 4 students. So she's playing psychic. She knows who did it. It's this person. Turns out it wasn't. So the judge like, can't do that. Ashley Gouliard, a 41-year-old self-described psychic who used tarot card readings to build her case, posted a series of videos claiming history professor Rebecca Schofield had masterminded the killings. The jury, which deliberated for just 2 hours, awarded $2.5 million in compensatory damages, thank you, and $7.5 million in punitive damages. But now the psychic's appealing that, obviously, because she doesn't want to pay the $10 million. But speaking of that, I did see that. Brian Kohlberger, right?
Brian Kohlberger.
I don't know, man. World's crazy. You know, you just could have Googled it. I mean, Lunchbox Googled it in 10 seconds.
It was late. It was late last
Oh,
night.
it was?
Yeah.
I
and
mean, it
was
still
just-
takes 2 seconds. But,
You had all morning, too, to be fair.
and I'm watching the cam footage and they're in the back of the U-Haul. And I think they were looking for a U-Haul because he goes, oh, we went after, the other cop was like, oh, we went after a different one.
yeah,
And so-
they knew something was
Man,
up. They
when
didn't
they-
randomly pull over a
Because they work
U-Haul.
for the DEA.
when
Like,
they found the drugs, they celebrated so hard. They're like, "Yeah, we got it."
All right, everybody good?
Good.
yeah.
Let's take a break. Thank you.